What's going on? What's going on, family? Peace and blessings to the tribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You are now watching the Telescope channel. I'm over here just eating a little salad. So, eating a little salad, a little feta on there. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me try to put it down a little piece. A little feta on there, tomato. You know what I'm saying? We got some chicken on there. A little chicken. Take off my shades as I eat. But look, though, man. Today we finna be getting into a lot of good stuff. So I'm put some dressing on. You gotta have this, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not from the hood if you don't have this. I don't know. Some people like blue cheese. Some people like ranch. I mean, I like Italian dressing. And I like to drizzle it. You gotta drown it. You gotta drown it in that dressing. All right, so getting straight into this, man. This is what we need to be getting into. We on the right track today. So I was actually watching. Hold on, let me pull up another tab. Open up another tab too. So I was actually watching Sinetta Studios, Sinetta TV, Super Sinetta. I was actually watching him pretty much for the past couple of days. He's been having some interesting stuff on there. So he had this one lady. I'm not gonna call out her name or anything like that, but make sure y'all guys can hear me real quick. So he had this one sister that was on there, and the sister. I mean, she, some of the things that she said did have a little merit, and some of the things that she said were like a little out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, hold on, let me open up another window on here. Y'all bear with me. I gotta give it like a couple of minutes anyway before I start playing all of this stuff. So, bear with me. I'm over here getting my little functions together and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna drop. Oh yeah, let me put the link. So y'all more than welcome to come. We can drop the link. Y'all more than welcome to join on in. Make sure y'all can hear me. Everything. Join on in. Okay. Sound is all good. Everything is all good. The sound in there. Okay, okie dokie. So, what we doing right now? Hold on, let me. All right, so hold on, man. All right, so look, this is what we doing. So, I'm actually, and the link is right there in the bio. I mean, not in the bio. The link is right there in the link is right there in the chat, so y'all can put on the chat. They done change it up now. See, they done change it, but y'all can put on the chat, and y'all can see pretty much. I'm gonna start eating once this video start playing, but y'all can actually see pretty much what the link is and all that, whatever, so you can hit it and join up or whatever, and give your outlook on it. But nevertheless, back to my point. So for the past 2 days, Sinetta has had 2 guest speakers on there that has been talking along the lines of the Dan Calloway rhetoric, where they're saying that they are not FBA, nor are they native, because that was a term that was put out there as pretty much like as a trick bag, or so to speak, a term that was put out there for means of all people of all races to get benefits off of the things that we created. So I want to pull that up right quick, because I found that very intriguing, and they going at it right now. They going at it. Christina Nick versus Range. And I believe that Christina Nick finna have a debate with Nepal. That's gonna be a good one. But this is actually the one that I watched. This is the one that I watched, 3 hour long. This is the one that I watched. I'm gonna pull this up before we actually get into it. Trying to teach me, you know what I'm saying? For the content, most definitely. I know you won't mind, utilizing. But fair use and educational purposes, YouTube. We're gonna share this one right here instead. And now, just by looking at this lady, you know, looking at this woman, I mean, she does seem like a character. A lot of the things that was said on there, she didn't answer. She didn't answer a lot of the questions. She was very combative. She didn't want to respond to any of the questions that I think that the questions that kind of made sense or that were hard to answer. She didn't want to debunk herself. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to cut herself. So it was a lot of times where she was like just like rude and unruly a little bit. But you know, when they asked her where she got the feathers from, she's like, "Well, I chased the turkey and you know got purple feathers or whatever." It was just very weird. But a lot of her rhetoric is along the lines of you know her not being black. You know what I'm saying? She even spoke on and said that her dad wouldn't let her hang around black people or necessarily even be around African American people or foundational Black American people, whatever you want to call it, whatever floats your boat. She said that she was forced to hang around Puerto Ricans and Hispanics because that was primarily what the community was built upon. But she said she was forced to hang around them. Now she's calling herself, in a sense, Aborigine or Aboriginal. So it kind of shows like a disconnect and like a somewhat of a self-hate for you know what I'm saying, a hate for self. But let's get into it and play a little bit of this so y'all can see what I'm talking about. See right here, now this is the part where I kind of like watched and I was like, okay, Chris Harris started to kind of like ask her a couple of questions and she got like a little unruly. She was mad about that, you know what I'm saying? But look, check it out. Here it is.
Doctor was asking you, there's actual records from the slave ships. And then I'll ask you one last question after that. What do you say about that when there are actual records showing that the slave ships originated in Africa, the West Coast specifically of Africa, and then came to the Americas and also Europe? What do you say about that?
What I have to say about that, I believe that story just as much as I believe Snow White and the Seven Doors.
So you disregard all that evidence, even though because
I most certainly do, ma'am, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. I most certainly do.
I know you do. I get it, but you're showing us information, a lot of pictures, and you have a beautiful family. But you're showing us pictures, but you want us to accept that, but then you don't want to accept actual records, historical records. I just want to put that on record. One more thing. Are you familiar with the Hopi Native Americans?
No.
You've never heard of Hopi, the tribe of. So do you acknowledge any Native American tribes like Hopi?
I don't acknowledge Native American because anybody could be a native. Like somebody that moved to New York. I'm a native New Yorker. That could be any foreigner.
She was a little bit all over the place. The other brother, I happen to know the area that he's from out there in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale area, down here in Florida. But excuse me, let me not talk as I'm not chew as I'm talking. Let me change up my camera right quick. All right, so I happen to know the area that the brother is from, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This woman right here, she's a little bit more. I really don't want to, denigrate the sister or like talk bad about her, but she was a little bit more all over the place. And she's older, but she was a little bit more all over the place. The other brother, Chief Alligator, he was a little bit more, like, even though it did sound kind of far-fetched, he was a little bit more compact, well calculated, comical, very much entertaining. That probably comes from having that Florida energy. Down here in Florida, everybody is kind of like comical or just like in the moment, in the mood. They got good energy and so like it's a Florida thing. And the brother said something like he kept on using the analogies of like the boxing analogies and stuff like that. He even said a term that we all phrase that we always say down here, that they dead flies. Oh man, you dead, there's flies everywhere, man. After he was, verbally, intellectually and articulately cutting these brothers or whatever with that knowledge. Now the thing is, when the brother Garfield got on and asked him, about you know, what do you feel like you deserve that I got that you feel like you deserve? That was a very good question on Garfield's behalf. That was a good question on Garfield's behalf. But also, even more importantly, his response said two things to me. His response said, "You maybe you fighting the wrong fight, brother. Maybe you might be fighting the wrong fight. You know what I'm saying? You should be fighting for FBA rights of black people to get reparations or whatever. Maybe you should be fighting that fight because it sounds like you're saying that." It sounds like the same claim that the Aboriginal have and the FBA have the same claim. It's just that like this woman right here, she said that she don't even want reparations. She said she actually got a lawsuit going against this woman was like a little off, but she said she had a lawsuit going against people that are trying to get reparations. We're gonna continue to let this play out and let it ride out. But I just wanted to make that correlation. She got on Morning Thunder, Chief Morning Thunder, all of them named Chiefs. And I just thought it was so funny that old saying that, it's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. That was I thought that was a very funny analogy because it's like, no, like they're not saying that they're Indian. They're saying that they're American. You know what I'm saying? So it's not enough Indians, right? And then also, I'm gonna put up some more stuff. Also, a lot of these people that claim to be Indian are really white people. You know what I'm saying? These are not true Indians. As well as I'm gonna pull up some of these. I don't know if you guys know about the Osage tribe and stuff like that. When they're making a movie about it right now, but they actually were intermarrying with the women of the tribes and then poisoning them so they can get their land, gold, and resources. So this is something that I think we need to shed a little bit more light on. But when you have people that like for one, people that look like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that look like this, like you can't be like look like a joke, really. You can't be taken serious, and it's just sad that, like she's all over the place. Like she's saying that she's not gonna believe facts. You know what I'm saying? She's saying that let's listen to it. She said she's not gonna believe facts. She believes facts and those documentations about the slave ship just as much as she believes Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. A lot of comedy, but satire, so to speak, and condescending, verbiage, but just not a lot of intellectual, meat and potatoes. Like there's nothing that I can really gain and obtain from this. Now, the other brother, Chief Alligator, he was actually, restating laws and citing laws. Now, he did say one thing that did make a lot of sense too. I got to look it up for myself, but he said, "Oh, the civil rights, the Civil War never happened." He said it was a rebellion, right? And they pulled up like certain little facts and pamphlets, but we don't get into all of that, man. Let's go.
Want us to accept that, but then you don't want to accept actual records, historical records. I just want to put that on record. One more thing. Are you familiar with the Hopi Native Americans?
No.
You've never heard of Hopi, the tribe of. So do you acknowledge any Native American tribes like Hopi?
I don't acknowledge Native American because anybody could be a native. Like somebody that moved to New York. I'm a native New Yorker. That could be any foreigner born here and living in New York. That's what native is.
Okay, so native. So I'm talking about indigenous people who claim, like you, to be indigenous. They're called the Hopi, and they're in Arizona. You've never heard of those type of that tribe of people?
There are thousands of tribes, ma'am. I don't know all of them.
Okay, it's pretty popular.
I can say that. I don't know all the tribes.
No, I'm just asking.
Sister, I'm studying every day, learning all the different tribes that are indigenous to the Americas.
Okay, great. Okay. So these are.
So what it really sounds like, she don't even really know her own history. She just know what's been regurgitated and what's been given to her. Honestly, let me say this. This sounds real familiar to that whole sovereignty movement, and I'm sovereign and I'm in the land of my own. It sounds very, very familiar towards that. Now, I don't know if Black people is like on a journey, they're searching for themselves to find out where they come from, and they may be getting closer, but it really sounds like a big cash grab. And there's nothing wrong with Black folks getting money, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, and I heard that, I keep on hearing that a lot, like or they're grabbing for money, or it's a hustle and stuff like that. Like it's cool for black people to get money. It's cool for you to hustle. It's cool for you to grind and make a dollar. The thing, what I'm saying is like, you don't do it at the expense of your own people. You know what I'm saying? That's the bad part about it. Like, and some people are not. Some people aren't, selling classes or scamming or doing or selling courses for this type of stuff, or some people aren't like necessarily scamming and using it as a cash grab. Some people are really just honestly misled. Some of these people are really just honestly misled, naive and misled. But for the people that are blatantly lying in front of our face, and watching us and looking at us right in the eyes and then blatantly lying in our face, like, you're not a part of the problem, but you are the problem. But let's continue. Let's go.
A tribe of Native Americans who can link themselves, or actually they have a lot of their culture tying them back to Egypt, which is Africa.
Okay,
So
that's very good, but that's not the purpose that I'm here today.
Chief Morning Thunder, this is the sister you will be debating.
That's fine. Okay, nice to meet you, but I really would rather wait until our debate day to bring.
No, I just want to ask you some questions. It's not a big deal. What is Waya? Is that a tribe? Is it?
It is. It's actually our nation.
Okay. Did you?
And our tribe consists of many tribes across the Americas.
What language is that? Waya.
Oh,
the language that we're speaking right now.
This is what she lost me at.
It's English.
Look at South face, bro. South like, oh shit. Look at South face, man. Yo, South like, oh shit, man. Look, I got a nut up on this panel, man. South want to laugh so damn bad, man.
English?
It's the language that we're speaking right now. We're speaking the same language that we spoke.
Come on, bro. Tell me, Sai. See, that's how you know Sai is the GOAT, because he wanted to bust out laughing so bad. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to bust out laughing so bad, but he got to hold his composure. See, this is what real good comedians do. He know, you know what I'm saying, that if he busts out laughing right now, she may not, you know what I'm saying, giving her all that she does. So he just keep it. Yo, you cannot make this up, man. This lady said that we just been speaking American, man. It's been speaking English. I mean,
so I'm talking about indigenous people who claim, like you, to be indigenous. They're called the Hopi, and they're in Arizona. You've never heard of those type of that tribe of people?
There are thousands of tribes, ma'am. I don't know all of them.
Okay, it's pretty popular.
I can say that. I don't know all the tribes.
No, I'm just asking. Okay.
Sister, I'm studying every day, learning all the different tribes that are indigenous to the Americas.
Okay, great. Okay? So these are a tribe of Native Americans who can link themselves, or actually they have a lot of their culture tying them back to Egypt, which is Africa. Okay, so I'll drop that.
That's very good, but that's not the purpose that I'm here today.
Chief Morning Thunder, this is the sister you will be debating.
That's fine. Okay, nice to meet you, but I really would rather wait until our debate day to bring.
No, I just want to ask you some questions. It's not a big deal. What is Waya? Is that a tribe? Is it?
It is. It's actually our nation.
Okay. Did you?
And our tribe consists of many tribes across the Americas.
What language is that, Waya?
The language that we're speaking right now.
Oh, it's English?
It's the language that we're speaking right now. We're speaking the same language that we spoke when you arrived here. My questions is.
So we were speaking English as indigenous people.
Ma'am, I just answered your question. I'm not going to answer it again.
No,
if you ask me a question one time, I'm only going to answer it one time.
No, I just wanted to clarify. So I just clarified. You're saying that
ma'am, I clearly told you. I said, ma'am, we are speaking the same language we spoke from when you arrived here. On a so-called
I wanted to clarify that, because that's interesting, because English originated in England.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be your proof against my proof, right?
Okay. All right, then.
All right. Peace. Thank you. Brother Chris Harris in the building. What up, Chris?
What's going on, brother? Sonetta, the godfather of consciousness, the black Michael Corleone. What's going on? Can you hear me? Loud and clear?
Clear.
All right, just want to ask our dear sister here a couple of questions right quick, and I want to make it quick and fair. Just make it quick and easy.
So right here, this is what I was talking about. She was kind of like evading his questions, and she didn't want to ask it, so she was using kind of like being very, very condescending and disrespectful to the dude Chris. Now, right here, I'm gonna let y'all watch for y'all stuff. It started buffering, so I ain't want to knock my live down, but gotta check it out.
Here, because I am at work. Okay, sister, those feathers that you're wearing on your head, your hairdress, is a very beautiful hairdress. If you don't mind me.
Now, I must say also as well, he kind of came in too with like a little alternative motive, and that's the thing with Chris Harris. Like, he is a little sassy. You know what I'm saying? For a male, he a little sassy. Also, for you to come in to like talk about the lady hairdress when you know everybody looking at it, like, this is astronaut.
Me asking you, what is that headdress? What culture and tribe is that headdress indigenous to?
I'll tell you what, I ran out and killed a turkey and stuck him in my head. How about that?
Okay, so you make fun of the indigenous cultures over here that yet you claim, and you give me an answer such as that?
Chris, you asked me a question and I answered it. I'm familiar with who you are, so I'm answering you, and that's my answer. I ran out, killed a turkey, and stuck its feathers in my head. Next question.
Okay, this is the toughest place to be on the internet when you're coming with information. Let me make a statement real quick. And a lot of it, I'm making a statement real quick because I can see right now we can have no further.
Are they up here to make statements or to ask questions? Because
I asked you a question and you said that you're
preparing myself.
Excuse me, sister.
For the sister. Okay.
Well, I'm going to prepare you for this debate with this sister because she's going to ask you the same questions.
Well, so then why don't you give her a chance?
And you're educating us. No. Well, here's the thing. You were up here making claims. Excuse me.
Say, Nana, do you want
Excuse me, can I ask my question, please?
Let him ask your question.
Ask the next question. I don't want to hear a story.
Next question, Chris.
She said she don't want to hear his question.
I don't want to hear a story.
Okay.
Question.
You say that you're indigenous to the Americas. What was the name of your tribe?
My original family tribe, original tribe is Catawba, Cherokee.
The Catawba tribe, Cherokee tribe?
Catawba, Cherokee, and wait a minute, and Seminole, because I have two sides, my mom's side, my dad's side, and we have creeks. Question answer.
Oh, great.
Next question.
Okay, so yes, I wanna answer. I wanna elaborate on that fully for you.
No,
the
I'm
Cherokee
not
Indian.
I'm
talking to the audience.
You asked a question and I answered your question.
Okay, so the Cherokee Nation, the Cherokee. Okay, can you let?
See, look, side note, Chris Harris is like about to debunk that shit. Look at side face. What a side you really have. Now look, I will say this. He did come in like he already knew her with the jokes and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But she did mention that he chose her platform. He comes on her platform, and I'm guessing she called him troll. Maybe, you know, him debunking her. Maybe she called it not trolling, but she did say that he comes on the platform, and she knows him from her channel, from coming on her platform. Now, at this moment, she's trying to like stop him from talking. Excuse me. She's stopping them from talking and yelling at each other. It's just no type of decorum. You know what I'm saying? So that leads me to believe that you have some type of malicious intent because you're not letting them talk or get it off. And Sai right here, he just laughing because he knows. You know what I'm saying? He knows.
Let me finish instead of being so rude.
No, I do not want you to finish. I want.
All right, Chris, man, we got to move on, brother. We got to move on.
That's ridiculous, man.
Not a dialogue.
Yeah, she looked like a Nigerian. You know, the Cherokee and the Catawba had slaves, right?
Thank you.
And your highest chief.
That's a good point. But also, too, it is said that black folks enslaved black folks, like we enslaved each other. Now, he's saying that these tribes had slaves of black people, so that's a good point, but that's how I would counter it. You know, it's quote unquote said that Africans are the ones that put us on a slave ship and sold us to the white man. So to his point, and I mean, they're saying that the slave ship, like she's saying that the slave ship whole ordeal never happened, but I can kind of see a correlation where the Indians probably could have sold or had slaves, but they could have been the ones that was selling their own people. The native Indians could have been the ones selling their own people to the whites or whatever to be slaves. It's an interesting take.
Was actually an admitted African in the Cherokee Nation.
Have a good day, sir.
All right.
I'm not
Yeah.
debating with you.
All right, peace.
Hey,
Chris.
Napad, give me a ring. I'll show you how to wipe her up.
All right. Peace, Chris.
Peace out. Peace out.
Chris.
All right,
out.
let me go to my man.
Look, I
I
got
want
thick
y'all to-
skin, and I'm not. I
That's
have
right.
thick skin, and you know, I
Now,
got
hey,
12
sister, I
brothers.
want to say this to you real quick. With all due respect, you know I love you. You know we love you. But this is the toughest environment to be in. And so
I
we
respect that.
require.
I
Hold up
respect
a minute.
that, Sinetta, but they're up here to ask questions. I'm
Hold
not
up.
up here.
We are, when I bring on a guest, you are required to answer. Ty, real quick.
Eve Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands of
Real quick. Can you put your info in the back chat so I could probably let you come on. We could do a show.
Yeah, please, big bro. I got you.
Put your number in the back chat. But
I'm trying to find the part where she said that she has a lawsuit going against any African Americans that are trying to get reparations. That was wild. Like to me, that was crazy. Like that was wild to me. I ain't gonna lie. Like that was crazy. But let's go.
that's number two. I heard you say to brother Chris Harris also that you killed your own turkey and you made your head, but that's disrespectful, sis. And all due
I
respect,
said that
my
to him
last
because
thing, the
I
last
know
thing
he
that I
is.
will
He's a
say,
troll.
the
He's a
last
troll,
thing
and he
that I will
visits
say
my
is,
channel. So I just
the
was
last,
being an
hold
asshole
on,
to
sis,
him.
now you're
But
interrupting me. Didn't
well,
you
I'm
just
just
say
telling
that
you,
you
I'm
weren't going to be
answering your
interrupted?
question.
Now you're interrupting me. So I'm not
All
going
right,
to be
hurry
interrupted.
up, bro.
I'm not going to be hurried either, sis. But what I'm going to say is the last thing is anybody that claims to be Native American or whatever would never call themselves an Indian.
I'm not
That is
Native
so
American, sir.
derogatory to them. And you can
Sir,
ask
of all due
anybody.
respect,
First
all due
Nations
respect,
people
I'm not
call
Native
themselves First
American.
Nations people. And if
Okay,
you
so now
are
I'm not
a
going to
First
talk to you no
Nations
more because
people,
you're
you would
disrespecting
recognize
me.
that because
I'm not Native American.
Indian is a disrespect.
I'm not Native American.
Damn, I want to hear the part when she said that she got
All the vegetables, all the fruits.
What about chicken? What about
We
pork?
were more like vegans, our people. We lived off the land. So we were more like vegans, our people, originally. But then
So-
we have, I'm sorry.
damn man, what the hell? Sinetta just brought a roach up. Yo, Sinetta just brought a roach up, cuz. Oh, Jizzy. Yo. Sinetta had to look. He had to put her up on Front Street, put her face up there because she was saying some stuff, man.
Our sister and call her what she wants to be called. All right, without any further ado, Stu P is on you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sister, for being online so I can ask questions. Sister, let's go back a bit. Could you tell me some of the traditional foods that you were eating before the pale-faced European came here?
Absolutely. Corn, rice, all the vegetables, all the fruits.
Wasn't a good question.
We trade it with our brothers and sisters across this soil.
Activity on the topic. So anyway, I just
want
want to say the thing about the rice. Yeah, no, wild rice, what they call wild rice is the only rice indigenous to the Americas. So you can't really claim that the rice that we're eating in the restaurants today, I think you mentioned restaurants, is our indigenous food. It's not even indigenous to the Americas.
Okay, I guess that's just gonna be. We have to agree to disagree. But I Plus, I want to say this when you say the devastation of the.
Yeah, this woman, she was just like just throwing shit out there. It sounded like she probably done heard somebody say something, and she just like regurgitating it. That's what it sounded like. But I want to show that. I want to show this screen. Let me show this guy right here, because this was actually a good debate. So, or not a debate, but this was actually a good conversation that they was having. This was a really good build.
Here's
really
one
good
thing
build,
you need to
very
do before
interesting, really
buying
good
anything
build. But a lot of these guys sound like they get their rhetoric and they get their
online.
you know, their talking points from Dan Calloway.
Another dime on Amazon.
It does sound like mixed with the sovereignty thing, like the Moorish thing. But a lot of these guys sound like they mixing all of this stuff up. So this is where it got like a little good right here. So
time to set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe to the fight's lost. You ain't never like the
Garfield and him was going back and forth.
When I came to this country, and I appreciate that. This is why I don't shit on African Americans or black people.
Just give me yes or no.
I
It's just
can't
yes or no.
give you a yes or no.
So then there is a war.
This is what he asked him. This is what he asked him though.
They tricked the American, created a fake. I take game from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to you for letting the black sheep get up here, man. And you threw me in the ring. I just got one question. When we finish this, did I win? Take off, Garfield. What you got for me?
All right.
All right.
Ahead,
You know, he's right.
Hey, Garfield, be careful. The brothers are not saying it wasn't a fight.
See, Sarnetta kind of warned him. If Sarnetta didn't warn him, he probably would have been up.
Be careful. They're not saying it was no fight or nothing like that. They saying there was no actual civil war. So be careful.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll go back and listen to the show because I didn't listen to the whole show. So I'll do that. But I'll say this, though. There is a civil war going on right now between black folks in America. And when I mean black folks in general, because black is a color, it's a racial construct. But I'm just saying.
Now, the reason why I feel like this brother, his people is like my people, like they from here. They got the land. They're not immigrants. This is why I kind of feel what he was saying when he get to this point, because he gonna make a very, very valid point. And unfortunately, man, Garfield didn't want to answer, but he gonna make a very, very valid point. And also, let me say this too. Garfield made a point when he said, "What do I have that I shouldn't have that you have that you deserve? What do I have as an immigrant that is supposed to be yours that I shouldn't have?" And the dude, he didn't really answer it, but it was two good points right there on both sides. So I would love to see them two debate. I ain't gonna lie. I think that'd be a good debate.
In black folks in general, because we know what we're talking about. And what it is, you have some folks who are claiming that they are the people of this land and they are discounting African history. And those people are a detriment to the movement of black folks based on what the elders did for us. And I hope I'm going to go back and listen. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to go back and listen to the show right now. I hope you're not one of those people who are against the folks who came off the slave ships and fighting against what happened to them. I hope you're not one of those folks. I don't know what you said. I never heard the show. I didn't listen to one word you said. I just hope you're not one of those people, because there is a civil war going on right now between black folks in America. All right. And with that, I'll be out. Peace and love. I'll go listen to the show.
Can I respond to you? Can I respond to you, Garfield? Can I respond to you?
Of course.
Can I respond to your statement?
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just briefly, I just want to be clear. Again, we've already provided proof of claim. We're still waiting on proof of claim. Let me just say this in all fairness to you. Here's where I stand as an American man. I understand that the Americans, the indigenous people that have family members buried in this land, had dogs sicked on them, water holes sicked on them during the 1960s. They were trying to end intense military occupation. So in 1964, Lyndon Baines Johnson ended these.
Hey, ain't he coming like Charleston White? Don't he look like Charleston White?
segregation. In 1965, he did a Voting Rights Act. In 1968, and here's the point that I'm making to you, brother, they tricked the American, created a fake construct called Native American, and then put us in a group with all other immigrants. That I have a problem with because we're not being itemized and accounted for specifically as a group of people. Every time we get something, we got to share with people who were not here going through our struggle. That's what I stand for, bro. Most people were not here prior to 1965 who are mutilated like us. Those that were here and got their grandparents buried in this soil and their great-grandparents buried in this soil and went through Jim Crow, and we've heard those stories. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to us. Hold on, let me finish, bro. That the United States government assassinated Martin Luther King, locked up the Black Panthers, had a hand in getting Malcolm X killed, and then turned around and wrote 3 civil rights acts in the 1960s and did not recognize us lawfully. We have to be stingy at this point. The people.
Hey, look, now I'm not gonna lie, right there. Regardless of if he's saying that they Indians and all that other crazy, right there, that brother got me. He had a point because we're allocating all of our resources to some people that only been over here for 1 or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's people that generations of grandmothers and kids and grandparents and fathers and sons and cousins done died over here in this land for 50 odd years, hundreds of odd years. Our people have been over here and died for this, for our freedom, man. Like literally bled, beaten, and cried and died for our freedom. Just for y'all to come from another country, because y'all country is devastated, just for y'all to come from another country and be over here 2 years and get more resources than us. You like we finna listen to it. We're gonna play it out. Play it out.
People who come from that lineage and stand up and say it's time out for everybody else eating. We need to be taken care of because we got the most seniority on the land and we've been benign and neglected the longest. That's where I stand, bro.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of swallow migrants?
No, I have not.
All right. Swallow migrants are like people literally from where I'm
not even on cap. That's some new shit. I've never heard of swallow migrants, but I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna look it up as we doing this.
I was born in Jamaica, right? And what happened is after the Civil War that you said there's no proof of, they hired them. They hired swallow migrants, brought them from Jamaica to work on the cotton fields because they were cheaper labor. Just like all the Mexicans and folks who are coming across the border is cheaper labor. So those people who are Jamaicans who came over here and had children here, do you think they should get some of those rights? And not saying I do, because I'm definitely someone who came after 1965 and benefit from those rights you talk about. So I do agree with that specific point that you're saying. But with the swallow migrants, they were brought here by the U.S. government. So how do you, and they're recognized right now, their descendants are recognized as people of the land. So how do you account for that part?
Okay, I'm not clear on your question. You're bringing up immigrants that I never heard of, but I will say this, I don't want to kind of repeat myself. But let me ask you a question, and then I want you to ask me that question a little bit more clearer. Do you feel like U.S. citizens, people who have immigrated?
So this is a good question that he's finna ask him, and then Garfield is not gonna answer it. But I think he answers it down the line. I think he answers it. He was kind of dancing a little bit. I think his answer was outside of reparations. I think that immigrants should have everything that they got now, but I don't believe that immigrants should get reparations. That's what I believe his answer was, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm looking for swallow migrants, and I don't see it. Like something about birds is coming up. Let me actually show y'all. I don't know if I spelled it properly or what, but so this is what I'm looking at right now. Swallow migrants. Do swallow bird sightings have special meanings? You know what I'm saying? So it sounds something like a bird, the swallow bird or whatever. That's what the bird is called. But my thing. Let me go back to the topic at hand. My thing was this: if that is the case, it seems somewhat like that's just like a real term that has just now recently popped up. Like nowadays everybody got a political agenda. So we all know that people were dropped off in different areas and stuff like that. But now these different terms like swallow migrants is popping up, things we never heard in the early 90s and early 2000s. If you're from the islands, you was from the islands. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It wasn't you were swallow migrant. But let's get into it.
Immigration papers, people who have to come on visas and green cards and come through Ellis Island. Do you feel like just because those people are melanated like us, that we should all get the same amount from the United States government equally at the same time? That's my question to you.
I think you got to look at it as a case by case basis.
It's yes or no, bro. It's yes or no. Hold on. Yes or no. All respect, brother Garfield. Yes or no? Do immigrants with immigration papers and visas, are they supposed to get the same thing that the people who created all these inventions fought in every war on this land? Are other melanated people with visas and immigration papers supposed to get what we get?
It's a vague question. I'm gonna tell you why.
It's a yes or no, bro. Come on with me.
My brother. So you want me to come with it? So listen to what I have to say.
You want to answer
an example? People like to swallow migrants.
I just want to.
I also think that he has a delay, so that's probably why he keep on cutting him off. He probably shouldn't have decorum because he seems like a very respectful brother, and it's like he has like no malice or anything. It looks like he genuinely wants to build, but I do think that he has a delay on his end because it's happened to me before where I think that I'm talking at the same time as everybody else, and you're on a platform on StreamYards like Sinetta. Sinetta have a lot of people on there. The more people on there, the more it's going to buffer and lag. So you might be thinking that you're talking at the same time as. That's why you got to be swift to listen and slow to speak, because you're thinking that you're talking at the same time as. You're thinking that you're talking after the person's done talking, but it's a really, really big delay. So it's like 5 seconds they quiet, and then they start talking again and like, oh, I ain't finished my sentence, or you jumping in and then you look crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think the brother got good intentions. Let's go.
Answer, bro. Just give me yes or no.
I can't
yes or no.
give you a yes or no. You can't tell me.
So then there is a war. So there is a war. The war is we have melanated immigrants that want what we have.
No,
that's a war.
Hold on. Listen to me carefully,
bro. You just said it. You want what my granddaddy had to die for.
Are you gonna talk over me? Are you gonna let me talk?
Bro, we're gonna dialogue, but I'm just saying what you're telling me.
Can I speak? That's all I need to do. I just need to respond.
Let him finish.
Yes, at the outset, I do agree that the reason why the folks are actually coming over here is because of this actual government, like the CIA. The CIA gave guns and disrupted the whole country of Jamaica and allowed guns to rampant, supported the.
I'm not even gonna lie. That was such a bad point. Because the CIA gave y'all guns, y'all ran to America. That was such a bad point, Garfield. I'm not even gonna lie. Now we know for a fact that the CIA dropped guns off in Chicago on the trains. That's actually in America. We know that they had people like William O'Neill infiltrating, and you know what I'm saying, these political movements. We know for a fact that they dropped dope off in California and stuff like that. I mean, we obviously know that through Freeway Ricky Ross. His plug was a Nicaraguan connect, right? Now, why does it like just like the brother saying, you telling me you're gonna be in my house and you just got over here, you supposed to get everything that I'm entitled to, that my people ain't never even get yet, and you feel entitled to it? Oh hell no. I get what he's saying, because it seems as if though Garfield is trying to even somewhat, so to speak, and I don't want to put nothing on, it's not being malicious, but it seems like he's trying to take our stories. It seems like he's trying to say, just like the CIA dropped guns off in Chicago and dropped drugs off in California, they did the same thing to us in Jamaica. They gave us guns. See, but this is the thing. This is where it differs at, because y'all in a whole nother country. As a matter of fact, isn't Jamaica governed by the Chinese? So like that was just like a bad point. It was a bad point. I really honestly feel like it was somewhat disingenuous, because he was saying that, you know, the CIA dropped guns off in Jamaica. That has nothing to do with the Americans. We're talking about over here in this land. So that was a bad point, but let's continue. Let's go.
the people in Jamaica and gave them guns. So the wars in Jamaica, when people got to wake up in Jamaica in the ghettos to gunshots, it's because of what the CIA did when they try to infiltrate the country, and they infiltrate African countries. That's why a lot of these folks in the ghettos are running over here. So the same country that's giving them the benefits now over here is the reason why they're here. So those people deserve whatever they get when they come here. Now, as far as freeloaders, those people, those are a small amount of people that come over that want the same benefits. But of course, bro, if you come into a country and you live in a land, you're gonna get the same benefits. That's not the people's fault. That's why I brought up the swallow migrants. The U.S. government had black people in this country to pick.
If anybody know what a swallow migrant or ever heard it before, Garfield said that, please let me know.
Cotton, but decided to hire Jamaicans. That's dumb. That's dumb shit. That's why there's a division between immigrants and African Americans right now. Are people from
that don't even much make no sense. As a matter of fact, he said that they had slaves, but they decided to hire immigrants for less money. That don't even much make no sense. So you telling me y'all got black slaves, so you're gonna go to another country and hire more black people that don't even speak the native language? You gonna hire more black people and pay them? Nah, I don't know about that one, Garfield. I don't know about that one, man.
From
That don't even sound logical.
The government caused that rupture. They did that, not the people.
I just want to ask you, when you finish your bill, I just want to ask you my question one more time, bro, as a man. Go ahead, finish your bill, but I got to come back with my question because you did not answer. It's yes or no, bro. Let me ask the question one more time, bro.
I think I did answer your question.
No, you didn't.
I said that the people, listen, you can't
bro,
blame
hold on.
people.
I just let you do. Let me get the question out, bro. Out of respect, much respect. You know, I ain't no disrespect to Jamaica. Growing up in South Florida, I grew up with it. Bro, we a melting pot. But we got to put some straightening on this history. Are you telling me that melanated people?
That's another thing too. I can definitely attest to that. It's a big melting pot down here. You got everything from Colombians, people that's from Venezuela, Haitians, Jamaicans. It really is Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. It really is a big melting pot down here. You got people down here from Turks and Caicos, Indians, Trinis. You know, so I get what he's saying, but honestly, that's why I think that this brother's on point because nobody will understand that. Excuse me. Nobody will understand what it's like to have your resources allocated by another group more than the Black Floridian, right? Because we really down here, we really get like in New York, probably I say New York too, but down here it's like we really get like everybody bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We get the people that come down here for spring break and for the summer and like vacay and stuff. We get their bullshit. We get the people that coming from off of the boats and you know what I'm saying, coming into the border and stuff like that, or you know sneaking over here. We get their bullshit. And you know, as Black people, we left empty-handed with our hands out like this, like damn, like so where's mine's at? Like shit, y'all gonna give me something? So I kind of understand what the brother's saying when he says that. I think that Garfield is like deflecting in a sense, but then again too, Sinetta kind of warned him. So Garfield's probably just playing it safe, and you know, in the midst of playing it safe, you know, maybe kind of somewhat making up things like swallow migrants. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant to that. Maybe that's just my ignorance that I'm ignorant to. But I just looked it up. I showed y'all. Maybe I'm spelling the word wrong or whatever. But I don't see that. I don't see that term. Nor have I ever heard that term prior to him saying it. So that was like something that was, you know, really stuck out to me or whatever. I think that Sinetta made a great point. If somebody is saying something that makes sense and is logical, don't refute the knowledge. Don't refute the information. Don't say, "Oh man, no, that ain't true," because you want to be so stuck in your ways. And he used the Hebrews. I'm gonna pull that up too when they was fighting. I'm gonna close the show with that. But he actually used the Hebrews as an example. Like, you know, they love to say that we all Hebrews and stuff like that. But as soon as somebody comes with knowledge to say that, you know what I'm saying, we are not all Hebrews, it's like they're so stuck in their religion. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna touch on that, man. Let's get into it. Let's go. You are now watching the Telescope channel, man. Remember, they said it, man. We speaking on it. You know what I'm saying?
People with immigration papers and visas are supposed to get the same thing that the American that invented everything that the world benefits from and fought in every war on this land and is their land. Are you telling me that we're supposed to share with people that ain't even been here for 10 years? Yes or no?
You know what? That
Yes or no?
You got to blame the government for
Yes
that.
or
They
no?
let them in.
Yes, sir. Bro, I'm
They
talking to
wouldn't
you.
come.
Yes or no?
They wouldn't come here if they wasn't getting the benefits, bro. That makes no sense.
So we have a huge problem
That don't make
amongst
any
our
sense.
people. Yes, we
But
do got a melanated problem.
what you're doing is, but at the onset
No,
of it
bro,
is
I'm
that,
asking you a
hold
question,
on.
bro.
Let me finish. Let me answer
That's
the
like if I
president, bro.
save
Let
up to
me
buy a
talk.
car and I put rims
Let
on
me
it, put
talk.
music
So
in it, and then you say,
hey,
"Oh, I just came over here and got the
hey,
job with you, but I want your car."
my brother.
Come on, man.
If that's the case, then if that's the case,
See, at that point, I think that when they were talking at the same time like that, I think that he was having a delay, and that's what I was talking about. But let's go.
Don't tell the U.S. government don't infiltrate outside countries. Don't do it, because they are the reason why a lot of these people come here. That was my point. Now, if they're coming here, of course they're gonna want the benefits. That's why I said I give props for all these civil rights acts, because it gave me rights when I came to this country, and I appreciate that. This is why I don't shit on African Americans or black people. I thank you. But the point is, a lot of people come here because of.
See, and that's another thing too. I don't know why he keep on saying that. I don't really want to let him get off with that, because that's not true. People are not fleeing to this country because the Americans infiltrated their country. Like, people from Haiti are not coming to America because Americans, infiltrated the country. People from Japan and Europe and these other countries are not coming here because the Americans infiltrated the country. I think I beg to differ. I kind of think that they're coming here because they know that it's opportunity, because they already know that as immigrants, as soon as I come over there, I'm gonna get allocated resources. You know what I'm saying? Shit, beat up on the black man, they gonna put me ahead of him, and then I'm gonna be living like a king. I'm gonna be living better than I'm living over here with people that look like me. That's what I think that they're thinking. And notice how when people such as Garfield, who are Jamaican, right? People that are Jamaican, say even some Haitians and stuff like that, they come over here and then they kind of like, even Africans as well, they come over here and they like kind of like toot their nose up at, the black man over here or the black woman over here. They kind of look down upon us, if anything. So it really is a division. And I'm glad he said that, because for him to say that there's a civil war going on between the black American and the black immigrants, he is right, and they're the spearhead of it. People for Garfield to even make that statement, let us know that it's a cultural divide between our people, both sides. Both melanated people don't see eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? There was a time back in the day when I remember, like, people used to be like, "Oh man, you smell like a Haitian, or you dress like a Jamaican or something like that." Those were terms, or those were like cracks, or you were African booty scratchers. Those were terms right back in the days. Now it's become something where it's like, it's quote unquote cool to be a Haitian, or at one point in time, Bob Marley and the whole Rastafarian movement, it was cool to be a Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's not really the black American that has spearheaded this movement. I think that it's more so the immigrants. It's the immigrants that want to get back, that feel like, they haven't humbled themselves. They feel like, oh, well, we over here, we get a little money now, we popping now, we've been over for some years, it's our turn, it's our time. You know what I'm saying? The black American man ain't on shit, black American woman ain't on shit, we're not gonna deal with them, we not like them, we look down upon them. They've been over here for how long? Y'all not getting no degrees, y'all not working good jobs, right? So they kind of look down upon us. And I think that, excuse me, but I think that Garfield is kind of proving my point in a sense by even saying that, people are coming over here because their country has been infiltrated by America. No, Garfield, that is not true. They're coming over here because they know that they're going to get put ahead of the black American, who, especially the black American man, who was at the lowest totem pole in America. But they understand and they know from the outside looking on in, the black man is being treated, the black man in America is being treated like shit. So we know and we understand that if we come over there and we go over there, we're going to immediately get put ahead of him and his family, right? That goes for black women and black men. But we can't forget about the black babies, right? So when these immigrants come over here, they get put ahead of the black babies. They get put ahead of the black mothers. They get put ahead of the black fathers, right? So this is what I feel like the brother is saying is the issue. But let's continue and let's go.
The shit that the U.S. government did and infiltrated their country with the CIA, with the IMF, in all these different things. So at the end of the day, if they didn't assassinate these world leaders and try to infiltrate to let their ruler rule, look at Haiti. They've infiltrated Haiti so much that the leaders, if they don't do what the U.S. government does, they're assassinated or shipped out. Who is doing that? The same U.S. government. So the same U.S. government who is infiltrating the country. That's why the people are migrating here, so they could get the the benefits of this big brother country that's infiltrating the countries. They say, you know what? Since you're gonna beat us up, we're gonna come to your country and live in your country. Then
Okay, let me ask you this way.
Immigrants. Who let them in? Who let them in legally?
Okay,
The U.S. government. So you can't blame them. It's
okay, so let me ask you this.
He say since y'all gonna beat us up, we gonna come to y'all country and live with y'all. That don't even much make no sense. So you telling me if the bully beating you up, you finna go home with the bully and become a slave? Nah, that don't even much make no sense, man. That's why I said that kind of right. I mean, and I'm a big fan of Garfield. I like Garfield and some of what he teaches. But right here, I think that, man, Garfield was kind of like, I think Garfield was, in a sense, I'm not gonna call him a liar or anything, but I think Garfield was kind of saying things to somewhat to save face, so to speak, or not get caught up and not get cut, you know what I'm saying, intellectually. But yeah, this is something to be reckoned with, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. This is a good topic right here, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that everybody questions this, but let's go.
Bro, let me ask you this. I want to make it personal now. Now I'm gonna bring you back to my family tree that descends in the soil that you're living on now, called America. All right. My people have land to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me, hold on, are you telling me that when your family comes from Jamaica, you feel like you deserve what I'm supposed to get? Now I'm talking to Garfield, Chief Alligator and Garfield. Do you feel like when you bring your family over here from Jamaica that you're supposed to get the same thing that I get with generations buried in this ground? I'm talking to you now. I don't want to hear about the government.
All right, okay, let's get personal. Let's get personal. What things are you referring to?
What I just said, bro, don't do that. What I'm saying is very clear.
What benefits?
When you brought your family over here, do you think your family should get exactly what my family receives? And we've been on this land for hundreds of years. Yes or no?
Outside of reparations, yes.
All right, then we got a problem.
Well, you can't. How are you gonna stop that? That's your personal belief.
But we needed to hear this from you, Garfield. We need to know who our enemies are, bro. You want what we got.
It's not about
that's like me coming to Jamaica. That's like me coming to Jamaica saying I want exactly what the dreads get. I don't want to put the work in. Hold on.
If you live there, you work there. Why not?
It don't work like that, dog. Seniority matter, dog. Seniority matter, bro.
1 second, Chief.
Seniority matter, bro.
What is it that I shouldn't get that you should get?
And
give me an example.
Look, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm talking to the people listening. This is our problem today.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me, are you telling me that when your family comes from Jamaica, you feel like you deserve what I'm supposed to get? Now I'm talking to Garfield, Chief Alligator and Garfield. Do you feel like when you bring your family over here from Jamaica that you're supposed to get the same thing that I get with generations buried in this ground? I'm talking to you now. I don't want to hear about the government.
All right, okay, let's get personal. Let's get personal. What things are you referring to?
What I just said, bro, don't do that. What I'm saying is very clear.
What benefits?
When you brought your family over here, do you think your family should get exactly what my family receives? And we've been on this land for hundreds of years. Yes or no?
Outside of reparations, yes.
All right, then we got a problem.
Well, you can't. How are you gonna stop that? That's your personal belief.
But we needed to hear this from you, Garfield. We need to know who our enemies are, bro. You want what we got.
It's not about
that's like me coming to Jamaica. That's like me coming to Jamaica saying I want exactly what the dreads get. I don't want to put the work in. Hold on.
If you live there,
and that's why I reminded it when he said, "Why not? Why not?" Man, come on, bro. If y'all was a power country like us, man, y'all wouldn't want us coming over there getting more resources than y'all. Y'all already talk down on us, and y'all in our country. Y'all talk down on us right now, so. Why would you even make a statement and say that y'all wouldn't mind us coming over there? I can hear y'all now. American Yankee come over here and take up all our resources and allocate all our resources. I can hear y'all now, man. You know what I'm saying? Talking shit about us. So it's like, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I think that Garfield right now, I think he just like, you know what I'm saying? He lying to kick it for real. You know what I'm saying? He lying to kick it because he know genuinely like Some people won't be going for that shit. You is not gonna come to our land and then get more resources than us. That don't even much make no sense. That's like, that's like, okay, you stay in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and then you got one person, you let your cousin stay over, you know what I'm saying? You got a guest or something like that come over. You think that the guest is gonna have 2 bathrooms, be in both of the bathrooms, you know what I'm saying? And got the master bedroom while you got the couch. Nah, it don't work like that, brother. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that Garfield is, I'm not gonna say he's lying, but I just think that he's being disingenuous, you know what I'm saying?
Like that, dog. Seniority matter, dog. Seniority matter, bro.
1 second, Chief.
Seniority matter, bro.
What is it that I shouldn't get that you should get?
And
Give me an example.
Look, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm talking to the people listening. This is our problem. Hold on. This is our hold on, bro. I don't want to overtalk you, bro. Just I'm talking to the people listening to this. This is our problem as a group of people. We gotta start being stingy. We gotta get these people. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to my bloodline, my people. What you're hearing right now is you're hearing somebody with immigration papers feeling like, fuck what y'all did. We want a piece of the action. We got to stand up and say, nah.
Okay. Can I ask you an honest question, bro? What is
it
that?
I feel like that was, that was so accurate, bro, and funny. I think I say, man, right now you got somebody with immigration papers. Right now, what you have is somebody with immigration papers telling you what you did, and we want a piece of this action. Pretty much blatant, like stepping in the store, you know what I'm saying? Muscle, strong arm. Like, that's crazy though. Like, I think he hit that right on the head, man.
I should not get in this country. Give me an example.
I don't even have to play this game with you, bro, because you understand you're talking to somebody who is. Hold on. Stop. You understand that you're talking to somebody that descends from the greatest people on planet Earth, that invented everything that everybody benefits from your toilet to your refrigerator to your washer to your car to your heating and air. Do you understand whose land you own and who you're talking about you want a piece of the action that we've never been able to recruit 100% of since the unlawful wars happened? So now we got everybody coming from on planet Earth, coming on our land, talking about, yeah, we know you've been getting, you know what I'm saying, ant dick for the last 200 years, but we want you to keep getting shorted because we want a piece of the action too. Nah, bro, it's got to stop.
All right, Chief, can I ask you an honest question, bro? This is man to man right now. This is Garfield. I came to this country, right? So you're saying that Garfield, this is me talking personal now, Garfield should not get what? For example, what? What per se Garfield shouldn't get? I need clarity. I'm lost right now. I shouldn't use a toilet because African Americans invented.
I'll be right back, fam. I'm gonna let it ride out, man. Salute to Sinetta TV, man. Sinetta Studios, man, and House of Consciousness for letting us have this great interview. This was a really good interview. I think this is like the last 30 minutes of dialogue of the book just before he closed it out. Garfield came like a little bit late because he was doing a debate with Christina Nick, which obviously she won. So salute to that sister. And she got another debate coming up with Nepal Shadar. That's gonna be really good because Nepal be up on her game, and Christina Nick is funny as hell, and she be up on her scholarship with her Bible. So she a Bible thumper, and Nepal, I believe she believes in she walks in the faith of Kemet. But this is something that, you know what I'm saying, it needs to be talked about. This is something that I'm glad we're talking about. We got this on the platform, and we're gonna continue to talk about stuff like this. Sinetta, this was a wonderful dialogue between these two brothers, and yeah, I'm gonna let it play out, man.
Toilet, what are you saying?
If you guys can, make sure you just hit the like button for me. I appreciate it. Hit the like button as many times as you can, man. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. Remember, they said it. Now we're speaking on it. I'm Mr. Telescope, and you are now watching the Telescope channel.
Please explain.
You understand clearly what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying.
Don't. Give me an example.
Yes, okay. So
outside of reparations, I don't deserve reparations from this country because I'm not from here. But outside of that, what is there to give me? What I'm hearing you, and you sound forceful about it. But I'm like, what are you referring? Give me 3 examples. That's all, bro.
I'm passionate about it because when I put you on the scale and I asked you a yes or no question, you never gave me a yes or no. You gave me a diatribe about the government and how it does this, that. I asked you as a man, as an immigrant. You raised your hand and said, I am an immigrant. I'm not an American. You know, based on this bill tonight, that I am an American. Why would you think that you deserve what I get in my land? Like, how can you live with me in my house and then think that you supposed to get everything? Like, this don't even make you in my house, bruh. Like, what don't you get about this? You in my house.
Can I ask you a question?
What
This
are we
is your
missing?
house. Okay, this is your house, right? What is it that Garfield is getting that he should not be getting? Let me make the question easier because you're not making any sense.
Nah,
I have
you
three
never come on,
examples.
bruh.
Give me 3 examples of what Garfield is getting because I wasn't born here. I was born in Jamaica. And I came here in my teenage years, went back, came back and forth for years. But the point of the matter is I am here now. So I'm asking you, what is it that, because, and by the way, to my children's mothers, some of them are born here. So my kids shouldn't get anything either because I'm Jamaican and they're American. I'm like, what happens with that part? So let me ask you a simple question again. Give me 3 examples of what Garfield, I'm talking about me. Take everybody else out the picture. What Garfield should not be getting.
I've been doing this too long. What I'm not going to let a man do when I look a man. Hold on,
hold on. Out, bro. You just mad right now.
Mad, bro. You never answered my question. You're trying to ask me 3 questions when you never answered my one. But that,
okay, let me answer your question. There is nothing that I can think of right now outside of reparations. I don't think Jamaicans should get reparations from this country. Outside of that, I don't see anything that we should not get in our everyday life. What is the problem?
Let me say this. Let me interject. I'm not talking about Garfield.
I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about Garfield, but right here in New York City, in New York, period, we have a bullcrap mayor by the name of Eric Adams. Mm-hmm. Eric Adams is allowing all these immigrants to come into our place, to our home, and they are reaping the benefits off of what our mothers and fathers have built. They get free housing, they get all kind of things. They get to go into hotels, they get welfare, they get all kind of stuff without even putting in this work that we built. And a lot of people right now is upset with Eric Adams because of this stuff. So all you got to do is look it up. I'm quite sure Reggie know about that.
Yes, I'm familiar with it because I live in Westchester. And
in answer to that question, Garfield, that's what I'm saying towards them. You know what I'm saying? They I
agree with you.
They getting so many rights right now that even the New York workers are mad. The workers that work on the train station, the workers that work for HRA.
Hey, that link is down there, man. Y'all can hit it. What y'all think? What y'all thinking? He got a point.
I speak to them and I might have a show on that. They upset as hell. They getting so much rights that we can't even get.
But that's not. But no. Sarnetta, that's not what homeboy. And this is my brother. I'm going to call him my brother until I don't know nothing about him. I don't know nothing about him, so I'm going to call him my brother. I want to know what Garfield is getting that he should get. That's what I would like to know, because if I do pay taxes, if I do what I'm supposed to do in this country legally, what is wrong with me coming to this country and doing anything? I think what happened is you got to go back to the Monroe Doctrine. You got to go back to what the government decided to do after the Civil War that you said didn't happen. You got to go back to that and say, why were they bringing swallow migrants to this country to pick cotton when they had black people here? So that division that you're bringing up is not.
See, but look, I want to say this. He keeps using that term "swallow migrants" to come over here for paid labor when we already had free slaves, right? Or they already had free slaves over here doing labor for free. Why would they bring additional set of black people over, right, to pay them for labor when we already have black people over here that are native to this land, speak our language, comprehend what we're telling them to do, and we're not paying them shit? So that right there, that's why I said it just seems a little bit disingenuous, but let's go.
Based on the people who are the immigrants, it's based on what the government did. And that's what you need to look at. So you can't blame people for coming here, because sometimes you need workers. Like you have computer techs and different people that were coming over here for jobs from Asia, that people here weren't in that field, that they had to fill those voids. So those are immigrants coming over from Asia. Smart, intelligent guys from China, India, Japan, whatever, filling jobs that people over here weren't applying for. So you can't blame immigrants for coming over here when the government is auditioning and publicizing that. The government is doing that.
Real quick,
can I respond real quick, Sonetta? I know he did it. He did a long bill.
Real quick, brother. I think you a couple of shows behind, but
Hey,
I'm not Dominican. My father.
Hey, wait, hold on. I know Reggie ain't smoking a joint up there, man. Is Reggie hitting the joint? Is Reggie
was not Dominican. I realized.
Wait, hold on. Is that Dr. Reggie smoking the blunt up there on Sinetta's panel? Don't tell me that's Dr. Reggie up there hitting the blunt. Come on now, y'all.
Realized that my father was not Dominican. He's Puerto Rican. So you're wrong, brother. My father is.
Oh yeah. He's smoking the joint. Look, Reggie busting out laughing and that. You know what I'm saying, Reggie? Reggie on that gas.
Puerto Rican.
Reggie
But I was born here in America. My mother is what they would call African.
Salute, Dr. Reggie. Everyone, Dr. Reggie on that gas, man. But look, let's get into this right here. This is actually one time. Salute to Dane Calloway and salute to Sinetta. This is one time when I guess Sinetta and Dane Calloway was like back and forth or whatever. I don't know. I just checked that out. Dane Calloway exposes Sinetta House of Consciousness in 5 minutes. So let's check this out, y'all.
And by not knowing themselves, when a man doesn't know himself, he doesn't know what belongs to him. He could be the richest man on this earth, but by having lost his identity, he'll walk around like a pauper. And by suffering a form of amnesia.
I'm not gonna cap, bro. I don't know why they did this picture with Malcolm X's teeth looking like that. I didn't even know Bert teeth was like that, but let's go.
They don't know their own language, so they've taken your language. They don't have a history of their own, so they let you tell them what their history is, and that, in essence, is that you found them in the jungle someplace. They don't know their own language, so they've taken your language. They don't have a history of their own, so they let you tell them what their history is, and that, in essence, is that you found them in the jungle. They don't know their own language, so they've taken your language. They don't have a history of their own, so they let you tell them what their history is.
The topic is dealing with what Dane Calloway is presenting to the people about we don't have no African blood in us. We are not from Africa. That slave trade was in reverse, meaning that we left America and went into Africa. What kind of crazy crap is that? And they just show no information. So what do you have on that topic, my brother?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I don't, it's my first time really addressing this on film. I talk with people a lot about that because a lot of the information
I'm trying to, keep it buffering, but I don't know who this brother is. If you guys watch the House of Consciousness or, Sinetta TV and you know who this brother is, please enlighten me. I don't know who the brother is, but I'm guessing he's going to try to debunk Dane Calloway. I really don't even follow Dane Calloway. I'm not an Aboriginal. So for those of you who feel like I am an Aboriginal, I am not an Aboriginal. The title of this is Aboriginal, FBA, or Hebrew. What are we? Because it just seems like as Black people, it seems like we have a need or desire to just naturally cling on to something, being that our identity was stolen from us. Pretty much, I just leave it at that. I seen a little bit of buffering. I just want to give this video some context. I don't want to just use anybody's content. So whoever this brother is, once again, y'all let me know in the chat or in the comments. But let's go.
Realizing it's true.
But when it comes to the information that I'm presenting, not my information, when it comes to the information that I'm presenting, it's all publicly verifiable evidence. Okay? Now, the only way that these people that are trying to assassinate my character, the only way that they can actually debunk the
I remember Tariq when she had made a comment about him like, you think that you're saying something smart because you're playing the beat behind it.
information.
And after that, every time I heard his voice, it was always like an instrumental in the back. But let's go.
That I present is by displaying on screen records, genealogical records of their families. This is where it could all stop. We can nip that right in the butt right there, period. Because the records of the so-called slaves that were coming off of those boats here in the Americas, those records exist. And you can definitely check and see if your family members came off of a boat versus you hearing it from somebody. And see, the more people that does the research individually on their family, they will begin to notice that their family was not involved in slavery. As a matter of fact, if they did anything, it would be indigent servitude. In other words, they were prisoners of war, set to by agreement, okay, to work for somebody or for somebody in their family, okay, or outside of their family. They either could have shared the same hue of complexion or not. Doesn't matter. This was big business, and got paid little to nothing for farming. The prime example was farming, because I mean, how did they survive? Think about it. We had the majority of the resources here, and we still do. I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about right here, Turtle Island, known as North America. We still have the majority of the resources. And the number one resource that everybody can recall here was tobacco. I mean, you got honey, corn, rice fields as well. You know, I mean, there's so many things that we could go down a list about where these resources are indigenous to this land. I mean, you can't literally grow any of these things in anywhere in Africa because those are totally different land masses. Like a slave from Africa, for example, a slave from Africa can't be brought over here, okay, and know how to farm in this land because it's a totally different landmass. I mean, the trees are different, the dirt is different, the atmosphere is different. I mean, think about it. Think about it. We taught the whites how to farm. I mean, even Martin Luther King told you that. We taught them how to farm.
Okay. Let's watch a little bit of this. So look, I'm actually gonna play this trailer right here. If you guys don't know, make sure you watch this movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's supposed to be coming out. I don't know when it's gonna drop, but it's supposed to be coming out soon. Make sure you guys watch this movie. Look, check it out. So this movie is about a tribe that was pretty much killed and murdered for their land. An Indian tribe, native tribe, whatever you want to call them. They were poisoned and murdered for their land. The white man who Leonardo DiCaprio plays, they were married. They were marrying inside of the family and poisoning people. We're gonna do a little bit more back history on that as well too. But you guys check this out right here. Let's watch. Let's do like a little mini review on this trailer right here.
The Osage took their name from Missouri and Osage rivers. Niukanska, children of the middle waters. Move, said the great white father. There are many, so many hungry wolves. Can you find the wolves in this picture?
Oh, it's coming out in October, so it looks like when he says there's a lot of hungry wolves, and then they're showing the Indian woman. See the Indian woman right here. They're showing her. She's already walking with the white man, Leonardo DiCaprio, but they're showing the Indian woman how she's looking at the bypassers and how they're looking at her like a piece of meat. Look at how everybody is looking. Look at how the old man is looking at her with this white brother. Look at how everybody's looking at them. And she's like, what the hell is going on? Don't even know it yet, but you're a target.
Can you find the wolves in this picture?
This is a good movie, man. All the money was supposed to be. Look. So we gonna watch. Look at the sisters now. All four of these sisters right here were Indian, and they owned land, and they married white men, right, and were poisoned to death, right, for their land. So when they died, the white men, the European men who they married, were able to take over the land. And still to this day, I'm pretty sure some of this land is probably still, in these brothers' names. But that's why you have what you call quote unquote $5 Indian. You know what I'm saying? But let's get it.
Can you find the wolves in this picture?
Everywhere. Look at all the wolves. And what was going on right here, it seems like they were having like some type of meeting and treaties to where they can speak on how business will be conducted, who's going to get the land, where they're going to hide the money, things of that sort. Now, just to give a little context to what I was just talking about, because I was buffering a little bit, they probably kicked a couple of people out, but I want to play this tab right here, man, because this is a very powerful story. Now, this is why I do believe that it's some merit to what they're saying. Not a lot of merit, but some merit to what they're saying. And I think that the information is there. We just got to search for it. We got to find it, and that's what we do at the Telescope channel. We zoom in on these type of things, and we talk about everything from, sports to, stuff like this, to past history, political stuff. Like, that's what we do. So the Osage murders. Let's check this out. Let me go get the charger for the laptop while I'm playing this. And this came from PBS. It came from PBS. PBS always had good stuff, man.
It was theirs. By virtue of fee simple, the Osage tribe owned clear title to their entire reservation. The Osage, unlike other tribes, bought their home in Indian Territory and moved to what would become Osage County in Oklahoma. They hoped their new home would have nothing the white man would ever want. The land was owned collectively by the Osage, an idea foreign to whites, whose attitude was, those savage Indians should divide the land. Each tribal member would be worth more than 10 times the average American citizen. But the Osage saw more value in a place all Osages could call home. The discovery of black gold changed everything. Oil was discovered in the 1890s, but the real boom didn't start until the 1910s and 20s. The Osage Allotment Act of 1906 forced the tribe to divide their land, with each Osage citizen receiving an equal share. The mineral rights, everything under the ground, would remain held in common by the Osage. The royalties paid to extract minerals was divided among 2,229 head rights, one head right for each enrolled Osage. The Osage enrollment was closed, and there would only be 2,229 head rights.
You have to remember that the oil and gas reserve helped fuel the fires of World War I in the United States, and they paid royalties for this. the oil and gas reserve helped fuel the fires of World War I in the United States. And they paid royalties for the privilege of extracting this oil and gas. And this royalty was paid.
My fault. I was muted. I just want to say, this guy is apparently they're trying to say that he's Osage. I just want to say this guy looks nothing like a native. He looks like a $5 Indian, and I mean, who's to say that he's not one of the people? I'm saying, one of the remaining people that intertwined. I'm saying, with the Osage and stuff like that. Maybe his dad was a Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. If you feel what I'm saying, but it just seems like, man, it just seems so eerie, man, that this stuff goes on right up under our nose. And if you don't look for this knowledge, if you don't search for it, you'll never know. But that's why I said that it is a little truth to what Chief Alligator, well, I think it's Chief Alligator, Chief Crocodile is one of the two. But I think it's some merit to what they were saying, you know what I'm saying? But let's go.
Paid to the Osages. And so these people supposedly became the richest people in the world per capita.
And so these people became the richest people in the world per capita, meaning that because of the land that they had and the minerals up under their land, these people became so wealthy that they were some of the most targeted and richest people in the world, right? This is crazy, bro. Like, you would never even think that that's right over here in Oklahoma. Like, that's right in the States. I'm buffering a little bit. I'm just trying to build some context, you guys. But yeah, let's keep on going. Let's keep on watching.
Not surprisingly, the Osages enjoyed their money. New cars, building fine homes, decorated in the latest style, and traveling to exotic locations. The Osage became the envy of the world. Major publications decorated in the latest style.
Per capita in the United States. And they paid royalties for the privilege of extracting this oil and gas. And this royalty was paid to the Osages. And so these people supposedly became the richest people in the world per capita.
Not surprisingly, the Osages enjoyed their money. New cars, building fine homes, decorated in the latest style, and traveling to exotic locations. The Osage became the envy of the world. Major publications of the era printed articles on those rich Indians, the richest people in the world. The public perception generated by the publicity fueled the fires of racism and greed.
What they're doing is they're making fun of the Osage and the use of their money. They're also saying, look, they don't deserve it and they're wasting it. And that's the two messages that come across. This is going against the Puritan work ethics. You work hard and make money. Here are people who are not doing anything.
See, that's something that we hear often, right? You don't deserve this money. You ain't work for it. You don't deserve. And I think that's why Black people be getting on other Black people when they selling services and they're making money off of it, right? Because you feel like you don't deserve shit. You feel as though you shouldn't have, right? Because you've been told that all your life. You've been told that by your counterparts, by your European counterparts, right? That you don't deserve that money. Oh, he don't know what to do with that money. Oh, he gonna act like an idiot with that money. Boy, you wasting that money. Girl, you wasting that money. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny to me how something that doesn't belong to you, you can feel so entitled to it. You know what I'm saying? That's funny. Like this money, nor this land, these oil and minerals don't even belong to these Euros, but they feel so entitled to make comments as if though it's theirs, right? Oh, they're swallowing this money. They're swallowing this money. Come on, bro.
And they have unbelievable wealth. And so that you're creating kind of this atmosphere or this idea that somehow or another taking money from the Osage is not wrong.
Mm.
It was a reign of terror. That's what they called it. There was no other way to
But they said taking money. They said they came up to the conclusion that these people did not work. They were squandering the money and they became envious. Boy, look, envy and greed will make you come up come up with the strangest and the most astronomical conclusions. They came up with the conclusions that, well, I guess because they inherited the money, they didn't work hard for it. Like we work hard, we busting our fingers to the bones. We had to go steal and rob from these, these black people. They ain't doing what we doing, They ain't getting out the mud and off the muscle. They just inherited this land and this money and this wealth. Nah, they don't deserve it. It'll be all right if we take it. They just came to that conclusion by themselves. And that's what I mean by, like, I'm not gonna say they're the devil. I ain't no Hebrew or nothing like that, but it is a very big disconnect between our European counterparts. Now this guy right here, this is what they saying. They saying now he's Osage. Now don't he look like the last man I just showed you? What's different between him and the last man that I just showed you? Now Jim Gray, he's Osage. These people look like Euros, man. These don't look like no damn natives. Because if you native to the land, like, wouldn't you think that you'll be a little bit more red-skinned, a little bit more copper-colored or darker, so to speak? I don't know, man. There's a lot of hidden history over here in these states, man, for real.
Of terror. That's what they called it. There was no other way to describe it. If you were an Osage and you had money and you were full blood, you might as well have been walking around with a target on you. Everybody in the world descended into this area to try to find every possible way to separate the Osage from their money.
No one in government at the time believed Indians of any tribe could manage their own affairs. Because of this racist belief, the Federal Indian Service would hold in trust the assets of individual Indians, including the Osage. Guardians were appointed and had complete control over individual Indian assets.
I think there, like I say, I think might have been a very nice little cottage industry of certain people, lawyers, who were guardians of people, and when I say people, more than one, they were guardian of more than one person, and they charge a pretty nice little fee to do this. And they probably, I don't know whether they got wealthy or not, but they certainly didn't hurt their bottom line any at all.
Many guardians with Osage wards took advantage of their position to separate the Osage from their money.
Many of the whites who live in Osage County attempt to exploit the Osage. It permeates all levels of Osage. They're bootleggers, they're prostitutes, they're gamblers.
So it seems like they were saying, like, oh, these people are gamblers, burglars, prostitutes. That sounds like what they label black people. That's one. Two, also another thing that stood out to me is this brother or this guy went to the University of Tulsa, right? So that's kind of like, that's like really raising some hairs up on my head, because when you think about, I mean, obviously the Osage is in Oklahoma, and if we know about anything about Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, they burned down a whole town of quote unquote black people. Now, I actually even heard somebody else somewhat try to state this point as well. Who's to say that that was a city of black people? Because there was a point in time where blacks didn't really recognize themselves as black. See, the government would call you Negro, or the president was saying Negro on national TV. So it's not too far-fetched to believe that these Osage people, who they classified as robbers, burglars, and thieves, and felt as if though they were too incompetent to manage their money and to manage their finances. Who's to say that wasn't our people, that they intertwined and intermarried and poisoned to take over their land? Who's to say that the whole Black Wall Street, these people building up their own, who's to say that those people weren't indigenous to this land? So it is something to think about, and then by him having a history of also going to Tulsa University, and he finds so much interest in this topic that that just it's kind of coincidental. But let's continue. Let's go.
There are burglars, there are rustlers, there are armed robbers. They go out. All of these people victimize the Osage, but they're not the only ones. The merchants create a two-tier pricing level. They're charging the Osage more than they're charging non-Osage customers. You know, remember, it's not racist. It's Osage.
His name was Waken Iron. He was my grandfather's brother.
He looked
Therefore,
he
he was my
looked native.
grandfather, and he treated me
Right?
like a
See, this guy right here, he looks a bit more native, right? He looks native. Now he's a little bit more believable. He probably didn't have no, you know what I'm saying? It probably was no hard time for him to, get into the treaty and all the other stuff and, get what he needed, his allocate his little resources. But, he definitely looks as if though he's native. So let's say, I mean, the video 13 minutes long. Let's just say they only showed us out of 3, one person. So 2 out of 3 look white, look like $5 Indians, and only one person, this guy that they showed right here, actually looks native. But let's continue. Let's go.
grandson. And the money was loaned to an entrepreneur from his account at the Osage Agency. Today we call it what IIM accounts, individual Indian money accounts. And his money was just loaned to the local entrepreneur, and they built the hotel. And then he, at some point, was paid 10% of what was owed him. They did that through what do they call a bankruptcy hearing where he wasn't well represented. He didn't know about it until after the whole thing was over and done with. And then the guy that built the hotel then sold the hotel to his brother for the 10%, equal to 10%. And then through a circle of transactions, it came back to the original scam artist who ended up owning the hotel.
See, that's like money laundering, funneling money, stuff like that. If you guys ever get a chance, watch this show on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, but it's a show called Gunther's Millions, and it's about pretty much a dog or multiple dogs that they bought and bred, and they funnel money through the dog from the Bahamas. They was able to wash the money in the Bahamas and then put the money into a trust for this dog, millions of dollars that they had. Pretty much, not even allegedly, that they had stole, and they cleaned the money and washed it, and through generations and generations and generations of this one dog named Gunther, they were able to put the trust in his name and down his bloodline, so that their families can keep on spending the money. I mean, they bought strip clubs with this dog face and name on it. They did TV and television shows. Commercials and promotions with this dog's name on it just to keep the millions funneled and keep it going. So it is a very let's say it is a very high powered shaded scheme, but it's something that that I think the Euro can do to anybody, swindle you out of your money. They're clever, man. They clever, and fast talking, and clever. So what I would say as well to another point that I had made, that he actually does look native. But what I want to say is one, I believe it was a 13th Amendment. They said it was, but they were speaking on how native was a term to kind of like make everybody come in and like pretty much put us all in one big gumbo and like one big conglomerate, and pretty much deal with us as a collective. So native was something that they kind of put out there to deal with us as a collective, and they put a minority. It's like another term, like minority or whatever, right? But this is what I want to say to that point, right? What is native? Like, because when you think of native, you think of Indian in a sense, right? Like almost immediately, you think of Indian. So have we been bamboozled to believe that native looks like this? Because immediately when I seen him, I was like, okay, he looks native. The other 2 guys, they look European, they look white. You know what I'm saying? He looks native. Have we been bamboozled to think that, the Spaniard looking person, because this guy can go for Spanish too. Have we been bamboozled to think that the person that looks Spanish or the person that is like, a little bit like, that pretty much that looks like him is native versus somebody that looks like myself? All I know is over here. You know what I'm saying? All I know is what my people have done over here, what we have over here, what we created over here. A lot of people may ask me, "Oh, where you from? Are you from the islands?" Or you, no, I'm from right over here. Um, my granddad, like he had long, long, crazy dreads, hair as good as like he was a Trini, but he's from here, you know. So I just throw that question up in the air. You know, what is native and what does native look like? You know.
And it was kind of a funny story. One time, my grandfather, he told me he wanted to show me something. So he drove me downtown in Pawhuska in front of the hotel, and he stopped out in the middle of the street. And he had arthritis, so he could drive well, but he had trouble pointing. But he pointed up to this window, and he said, "You see that window up there, the third floor, and the second window over, something like that?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, in the end, that man who scammed me out of the money," he didn't use the word scam, but he said the man that did him out of the money committed suicide. He took the big jump from that third floor window and landed on the sidewalk below. And then he said, "But I'm still here." And so he felt that, and he was a very philosophical man. He's a very good man. And to him, there was no trade-off there. He simply got the better of the deal. He lost some money in it, but he had a much better life than that man who was a scam artist.
Mm.
One all too common scheme was to marry an Osage head right holder. Upon an untimely death, the spouse would inherit unimaginable riches.
Okay. About my grandfather. He died at an early age. He died, he was 29. Supposedly he died of poison whiskey. He came home one evening, laid down on a couch and never woke up. Supposedly, people told me years later, and it's probably secondhand information, that he was drinking or had some drinks with some other people. One of those people was Kelsey Morrison. But it seemed to me that nobody else in that crowd, maybe it was just Kelsey Morrison by himself. You know, nobody else in that crowd I ever heard of ever got sick from drinking that whiskey. But Kelsey Morrison was a bootlegger, his own bootlegger, a convicted bootlegger. There's a case called United States versus Morrison. He's convicted of bootlegging whiskey.
Dang, man, this get deep, man. This get deep, family. I'm telling you, man. Hopefully, you don't be trying to knock me down because, like, I gotta be making some context to it. That's the whole YouTube thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just play nobody's video straight out, anyways. But this thing getting deep, man. No cap, man. It really is because when you see it, they're saying like, you know, these people were, you know, known bootleggers, and you know, they had the state versus this person versus Kelsey Morrison. He was a known bootlegger. Then he still get back out on the streets and then selling bootleg liquor to the point where he was able to poison somebody, right? So it just shows you the goal and also the criminality in them as well. You know, the goal, like the audacity for you to already be committing a crime, for you to get out and then, you know, commit murder, or you already facing the crime and you know, go commit murder for riches, you know, the greed, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man, but very interesting story, man. Let's go.
On the old Pawhuska Road. Purpose was for him to benefit my grandfather's death, of him either getting some headright money or my granddad's wife, Tilly Powell, getting the headright money, and Kelsey would benefit from it. Because on Tilly's tombstone, it says, Tilly Powell, wife of Kelsey Morrison.
The Osages at that time knew somebody was killing them off. They didn't know who it was. And they tell me they would, you know, they would leave their lights.
It's another one, family. There's another one now. Does he look native? We have to ask. Does this guy look native? He looks like a Euro to me. He looks like a Euro. Does not look native in none in the sense of the word. Not at all. He does not look native. Not at all. The other guy actually looks more native than him. But I mean, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. It's written, like, pretty much, quote unquote, is written in blood. No pun intended. But I think that we gotta kind of like reevaluate everything that we've learned and been taught, man. Because this guy looks like a damn $5 Indian, man. This guy looks like a $5 Indian. Let's go. Let me rewind it a little bit. Carl Puncture. Yeah, he look more native than him, than the other guy.
Because on Tilly's tombstone, it says, Tilly Powell, wife of Kelsey Morrison.
And that's wild in itself. Tilly, so they weren't just marrying the women, they were doing that to the men as well too. They were they were sending women to marry the men. You know what I'm saying? And poisoning them and killing them and sending men to marry the women and poisoning them and killing them so that they can get their land. So I mean, it just goes to show you, man, ain't nothing new up under the sun, but it's some sick ass shit in this world, man. It's crazy. Let's go.
The Osages at that time knew somebody was killing them off. They didn't know who it was, and they tell me they would leave their lights on. They'd put lights around their yards, and they would try to get dogs. And some people hired guards and things like this because they were really scared, with good reason. Local law enforcement was of no use to the Osage. The sheriff allegedly ran a brothel out of his jail. The Osage Tribal Council knew they had to do something and hired the newly formed FBI to investigate. The FBI determined a local banker, Bill Hale, and his nephews were responsible for many deaths. But to convict Hale, they focused on only one of his murder schemes.
Hale was not a smart criminal. He was simply brutal, and given the
It's the only one that looked native. Now, also, I want to say, because I might pull that up too. This is happening. All of this is look. They took these people's land and had gold mines and all type of precious metals and minerals, and they worked on the land and drilled the land. But my main thing that's really kind of like that I'm still kind of like stuck on is that it happened in Oklahoma. One of the guys that have a doctor's degree that's talking about this went to Tulsa University, right? That's two things that's kind of ironic that I don't believe in coincidence. So that's two things that's kind of ironic that kind of stood out to me. Also, Black Wall Street was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Even though these probably happened at two different time periods, there is reason for me to believe that once upon a time there were native people there. Like Tulsa, Oklahoma could have been native land. Like those people over there could have owned that land, been native to that land. They could have raised their kids over there. Their parents raised them over there, and so on and so forth. I think that they were just as much native. The people that were killed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, were just as much native to that land as these people that you're watching right now. These Osage people. And some of these people, and I must keep on reiterating, but some of these people look like what we call $5 Indians. They look like just like what they're saying happened to the Osage. They married into the family, took their money, had offspring, and then just kept the generation and kept it going. It's a very weird and tricky story, but I believe that they had offspring, made real Osage, right? Because once you are married into the family, you're part of the bloodline. If this person dies or has a child, the child is yours. You raise the child. This person's gone, right? I'm just doing a little bit of critical thinking. This person's gone. The wife or the husband is gone. You raising the child, and the child has real Osage blood in them. You're married. You're gonna probably die eventually, but the child has real Osage blood in them. So guess what? When they have children, that money's just gonna go down the line. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna trickle down generations to generations. The land will be yours, the finances, the money, the resources, all of that will be yours. So it seemed like a very, very sick and devious plan, but it was something that was thought out. This was not just a one man's job. This was something that the town consisted on, to pimp these people and trick them out of their money. You heard it just said that the sheriff was running a brothel. That's a whorehouse. You know what I'm saying? So it lets you know that they already had motive. So I'm probably guessing the Osage men will go to the brothel, right? Meet something, get poisoned, or get married, or meet somebody they thought it was good with them, get married, take the girl home, want to take care of her, and then the girl probably will poison the guy, or vice versa. the men, the European men will get with the Osage women. You know what I'm saying? This is it's weird, man. This is deep. This is deep, family. Let's get it. This is
The
deep.
way society was up there during those days, he didn't have to be. He didn't have to cover his tracks, or he didn't have to, take any precautions, because who was going to catch him? Who was going to testify against him?
They called it the Reign of Terror because you didn't know where it was going to strike next. You don't know whose house was going to be blown up next. You didn't know who was going to be killed next. You didn't know who was going to be shot next. No. They didn't have to kill us for the money. If they'd have hung around long enough, we'd have given it to them. We do that today.
The current generation of Osage feels that the money was the least important of their losses. The knowledge of traditions and ceremonies could not be passed down as it had for centuries. The deaths of so many loved ones created a hole in the cosmos of Osage culture, a hole that can never be filled.
But I think every Osage knows all these stories that I know.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild, man. That is wild right there, man. That is wild. They got me buffering a little bit. I might have to change it up a bit. Hold on, let's go right here. So right here it says black people were here thousands of years before Columbus. We want to watch this. Oh, this looks like a good one. Did Africans discover America first? Oh, that'll look a good one. We might watch that too next. Who is Native American? Who is black? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna share this tab right here to show you guys this. All right, so I got a quote from Revelations. I know thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. So what it really means is I know you work in I know they work in tribulations and poverty, but they aren't rich. So
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Welcome to
salute.
Black Native Americans have been all but ignored in this country. We have been written out of the history books, and it is so-called Indian Native American tribes.
We're anesthesiologists, surgeons, emergency medicine physicians.
This country was filled with so-called Black Indians, true Native Americans. One area of note is California. The true history of California Blacks is a powerful story, one that should be studied and remembered. I urge you to please do your research, and you will be surprised by the majestic history of our people here in this country.
They were California Blacks, or Califians, also referred to as Califians, spelt with a KH. The California Blacks were one of the largest and oldest Native nations in the Americas. They were the people Europeans originally referred to as the Red Man.
One account of what it was really like in California comes from the writing of historian Robert Beverly from the 1700s. He writes, "Far and away the most beautiful city on earth, 5 times the size of London or Rome, great towers and buildings rising from the water, 60,000 gleaming houses, how spacious and well built they were, of beautiful stonework and cedar wood and wood of other sweet scented trees. Many streets and boulevards were so neat and well swept despite the multitude of inhabitants, crisscrossed with a complete network of channels like an enormous Venice, but also remarkable floating gardens that remain from nowhere else on earth." So you see, Black Native Americans not only lived here, but we thrived here. And we thrived for thousands of years before Columbus. As a matter of fact, Blacks were in this country even before the birth of the Savior, before Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach.
California Native American identity.
Yeah, I heard him say that last time. I was like, I want to watch this video real bad, but I also want the Euro to tell y'all, like, you know, I want him to show y'all too. But I want to watch this video first. Watch this.
Americans get a
Watch the next one.
day off from work on October 11th every year to celebrate Columbus Day. It is a national holiday that commemorates the day on October 12th, 1492.
Okay, we can barely understand him, but
when Italian explorer
y'all listen closely. It's a beautiful statue.
Christopher Columbus officially set foot in the Americas and went down in history as the man who discovered America. For many, the holiday is a way of both honoring Columbus's achievements and celebrating Italian-American heritage. But throughout its history, Columbus Day and the man who inspired it have generated controversy, and many alternatives to the holiday have been proposed since the 1970s, including Indigenous Peoples Day. But have you ever stopped to wonder how unusual it often is for a story that begins in the wrong place to arrive at the right conclusions? It is so with the history of how the New World was discovered. Traditional accounts have accorded primacy to Europe's 15th century discovery and to the maritime connection it established. Paired with this historic feat is the momentous discovery of what came to be known as the New World. However, it has become common knowledge amongst academics that Christopher Columbus clearly did not discover America, not least because it is impossible to discover a continent that was already there and thriving with culture. One can only wonder how Columbus could have discovered America when people were watching him from America's shores. But everybody, it seems, wants a piece of the discovery. The Vikings' claim centers on the fact that they had already colonized Iceland and Greenland over a millennium ago in the year 950 CE.
Now, I did hear that. Now, like, I remember going to school and being told that Columbus discovered the Americas. But fast forward when I got into, I want to say like high school, that's when the narrative of, no, it wasn't Columbus. The Vikings were there first. You know, the Vikings discovered America first. Now, fast forward, now I'm finding out that there were already people here. Whether they were Black, Indian, or whatever, there were already people here. So neither the Vikings nor Columbus discovered America. So this is interesting. I'm learning something now. Let's go.
Also in 999 CE, Leif Erikson is known to have left Norway on his way to convert Greenland to Christianity and was blown off course, and as a result found.
Oh, I was just going to say this before they said, okay, so CE means Christ's existence. So that's why the last video, the person said that there were people over here on this land even before Christ, right? Because they're saying right now that somebody was traveling. I think they said the Vikings, but they said that somebody was traveling to spread Christianity to these other lands and got blown off course. So let's actually take it back a bit and hear what they said.
Inland over a millennium ago in the year 950 CE. Also in 999 CE, Leif Erikson is known to have left Norway on his way to convert Greenland to Christianity and was blown off course, and as a result found the new lands. He built Viking settlements before heading back. The Irish claim centers on St. Brendan, an Irish monk who in the 6th century is said to have sailed to America in his traditional coracle to discover new lands more than 5,000 kilometers away. The Welsh claimant is Madog ab Owain.
Okay, Welsh claim Magaba Wade landed in 1170. Okay, so this is like everybody's claim. So I never heard the Welsh claims, nor did I hear the Irish claim, but the Viking claim, I've heard that. I've heard that before. That's an interesting take on it. It's an interesting take that they were going to Greenland to convert people to Christianity and get Christianity out there, and got blown off course and found America. That's the funny take right there.
Who is said to have landed in the year 1170. The Scottish claimant, on the other hand, is Henry Sinclair, Earl of Onkey, who is said to have reached Westford, Massachusetts in the year 1398. At this point, these famous feats of discovery dominate popular imagination. However, they obscure the true beginnings of the story of how Africans were first to step on American soil. Now, I know this idea has been vehemently rejected by much of the scholarly community.
Okay, so for whatever reason, I keep buffering. I'm probably gonna try to go to another video too. Just keep on buffering. I don't know why. Maybe I gotta play some music behind it, so it's not like. I probably should play some music behind it. I keep buffering. Sorry, guys. Let's go.
Community, which is no surprise given how African history was wiped out from modern history. But I'd like us to look at the...
Okay, let me try to play some music behind this. What's happening is what's happening is I'm buffering due to the screen. I'm kind of like buffering a little bit, and it keeps like kicking. It's kicking me a little bit. All right, so give it a moment. Or maybe let's go back to the Osage right quick. Let's go back to the Osage. It's almost done.
And it's all the families have stories, all of the families have tragedies, and all of the families have account of being taken advantage of. It's a part of our history now, and hopefully we're making progress of not being victims any longer. We hope that over a period of time that we become as strong a group of people as we ever were.
Yeah, that was actually good. Glad I got a chance to close that. All right, so let's get back to what we were doing before they. If it does it again, I'm not gonna play this video.
The evidence instead of the facts. Facts change all the time depending on many variables. Evidence, on the other hand, remains uncontradicted, uncontroverted, and wholly incontestable, no matter the variables. Contrary to popular belief, African American history did not start with slavery. An overwhelming body of new evidence is emerging, which proves that Africans had frequently sailed across the Atlantic to the Americas thousands of years before Columbus, and indeed before other civilizations.
If you want to be on camera, you want to be behind the camera, you want to do radio, podcast, whatever.
See that right there?
Whatever it is, this is a program in full.
That right there, that's intriguing.
The strongest evidence of African presence in America before Columbus comes from an eyewitness account of Columbus himself. In 1920, a renowned historian and linguist, Leo Wiener of Harvard University, in his book Africa and the Discovery of America, explained how Columbus noted in his journal that Native Americans had confirmed that black-skinned people had come from the southeast in boats, trading in gold-tipped spears.
See, so look, this is what I was actually gonna show this, but it's actually a European guy that's saying it. Not to say that it holds any more value because of a black guy or a European guy saying it, but for our counterparts to say it, I think that kind of does hold just a little bit more weight because why do you would think that they would say that whites were here first, versus blacks being here first, but this guy was actually saying blacks were here first, and these gold tip spears that he speaks of, yes, they were crafted and made by black people, and the statues that were seen as in the journals and then that were found, they were statues of black men. So let's continue to play this. This is getting good. If it keeps buffering, I'm just gonna go straight to the other guy, to the other video.
Ever since Christopher Columbus first suggested that black Africans preceded him, a number of scholars investigated this contention. In his Journal of the Second Voyage, this was recorded in Rakolta Part 1, Volume 1. Quote, curious about the validity of this story, Columbus did indeed send samples of these spears back on a mail ship to Spain to be examined, and it was found that the ratio of properties of gold, copper, and silver alloy are identical to the spears then being forged in West African Guinea.
Oh, so look, man, this is what we're gonna do because I keep on buffering. So what we're gonna do is this. Maybe this guy don't really want you to use his content. So let's go back real quick. It was it should be one of these tabs up here. Hold on. Hold on, y'all bear with me. Civil War explained. I mean, we can watch this right, because they said the Civil War didn't happen, so we can watch this until. Let's find what I'm looking for.
Expansion of territory through purchase, negotiation, and conquest. But with this rapid growth in size of the American territory, the controversial question arose as to whether new territories should become free or slave states. More than a territorial crisis, the question of slavery had already been dividing American public opinion for years, and the rise to power of a supporter of abolition would be the trigger for war. In the first half of the 19th century, the United States expanded westward with the annexation of territories from a vast number of countries such as France, Spain, the United Kingdom, and Mexico, among others. In half a century, the territory of the United States tripled in size, and the government had yet to manage the administration of these new lands. But a problem that arose as a result of this expansion was the distribution of these lands, with the northern states demanding new states to become free ones and southern states demanding them to become slave ones. You can already see where this is going. The question of slavery in the United States was becoming explosive, and while the economy of the North was booming and industrializing at a rapid rate with more than 23 million people living there, the economy of the South was struggling to get by, relying heavily on slavery and farming with a way smaller population of around 9 million people, of which 3.5 million were slaves, and thus, well, as you would expect, were very unlikely to fight. Both sides used the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution as evidences to their claims. The South pointed to the right to property and saw the Union as something they could leave whenever they wanted, while the North thought of it as one country ruled by a central government and pointed to the all men are created equal bit. These backbones of America's society were left a little bit too much to interpretation by the founding fathers, and many people were wondering what they really meant. Could Black people be citizens? Should slavery be abolished?
So y'all something like that. Hold on. I'll show y'all something right quick.
symbols of American freedom began life as a Muslim woman. That's according to researchers who say that the Statue of
Do y'all hear this, man? Do y'all hear this? The Statue of Liberty is supposed to be a black woman, an Egyptian peasant. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? We're gonna give it up over here for sure. Hold on.
Well, it turns out that one of the most potent symbols of American freedom began life as a Muslim woman. That's according to researchers who say that the Statue of Liberty was originally intended to represent an Egyptian peasant. The sculptor, Frederic Auguste Barthold of France, planned for his work to guard the entrance to the Suez Canal. But when he was unable to sell his idea to Egypt, Bartholdi journeyed to America with his drawings of a Muslim woman in Arab peasant garb and transformed her into a Roman goddess of liberty.
The Statue of Liberty was originally conceived as a Muslim woman, according to the Daily Beast. We all know Lady Liberty was given to the U.S. as a gift from France in 1876. But it was initially envisioned as a robed peasant woman holding a torch. The sculpture, once named Egypt Brings Light to Asia, was supposed to sit at the approach of the Suez Canal in Egypt, according to the National Park Service. But the French sculptor was unable to sell the idea to Egyptian leaders. So he sailed to America, where the Muslim woman transformed into what we know today as the Statue of Liberty.
A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black female. As a matter of fact, in a museum in New York, you can see the original design of the Statue of Liberty. And if you look, the chain is still on the foot of the Statue of Liberty to this day.
Well, the story was that it was a gift of the French to the slaves, and that the original statue had the picture of a black woman, the original model for it, and it had a distinctly African face. But it was Europeanized because the people in the United States did not want to have a black face sitting up there in the harbor. So they carved it out in France. They had to go back to the drawing board and remodel the face after the, what they call the patron saint of Manifest Destiny. So the patron saint of Manifest Destiny, that's her face on the, what they call the Statue of Liberty, which was transposed from the African face. In fact, you see the patron saint of Manifest Destiny in the symbol for Columbia Pictures at the beginning of the movies. That's the patron saint of Manifest Destiny.
This is the original plans. She was an Arab peasant. That's how he saw it. She was symbolizing Egypt carrying the light into Asia. She has the hijab on her head. He wanted to make her an ordinary Arab woman.
The Statue of Liberty was erected in 1886. It was brown because, of course, it was made of copper.
And something that I read that was fascinating is her copper skin that he sculpted her out of is actually thinner than 2 pennies. So you look at the Statue of Liberty, you think like it must be so heavy, which of course it is, but the actual material that he used is very supple copper that then turned brown and then became green because of the oxidation process. So she actually started out a different color. Isn't that funny?
I think that's an interesting thing because I always just assumed that the Statue of Liberty, she's green.
No.
Dang, so I just learned something too. So the Statue of Liberty was brown. It was so thin, like the dang, that's fire. She said that it was so thin that it was thinner than 2 pennies. That over time it turned green. That's crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's interesting, man, right there. Like, man, knowledge is so beautiful. So let me pull up this right quick. I wanted to pull this up, man. I've been trying to find this. Look at this damn crazy ass lady popping up on her. Probably because I just watched that. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay, so these are some of the statues right here. Hold on. I just knocked the tab down. Hold on, I'm gonna have to search it again. All right. Yeah, that's wild, man. And so they should have left it black, man. That would have been tough. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. They should have left it black, man. All right, so black black Aboriginal. Okay, so this is the guy. This is the guy where I was watching this one time before. I'm gonna share this tab right here. This is what I was actually talking about.
I was pretty much looking for a school that didn't have a wait list, and that's why I chose West
She sounds ghetto as hell.
Coast. There was no wait list at all.
Oh, she's Spanish too.
You applied and you started almost.
All right, Anetta, lock the doors because what I'm about to say is going to upset some people right next here. Okay, Christopher Columbus did not discover America.
He already knew that he was gonna get like some type of uproar out of this too. Sometimes you have provocateurs, people that just like, you know, they may not believe stuff, but they just do it because they know it's gonna get people riled up. But I honestly genuinely somewhat believe that he actually believes and knows that, you know, black people discovered America, because he's just gonna give too many facts. But let's check it out.
Exactly. I mean, never mind the question of like, okay,
You see, I wanna
Christopher
see what
Columbus
that's-
did not discover America. Exactly. I mean, never mind the question of like how you can discover a place where the inhabitants are watching you arrive from the shore. Yeah, they weren't wearing pants. Is that what somebody said? I like that. So anyway, there were actually many other mariners before Columbus that discovered America as well. Decades earlier, even eons earlier, there were so many people that were coming across these islands and this continent. But it's only been in the last century that evidence has surfaced and continually grown to indicate that many of these pre-Columbian explorers might have come from Africa. So the first scientist to promote this possibility was Leo Wiener. Born in Russia, Wiener immigrated to the United States in the late 19th century on his way to British Honduras, where he planned to open a vegetarian commune. Well, when that turned
Okay, I think that I'm buffering because I'm not showing my face. I'm gonna step out really quick and have you guys watch it, but I'm still gonna be watching as well with you guys. But I'm gonna play it, cut off the lights right quick. So I'm gonna play it. Hopefully it doesn't knock. Hopefully it doesn't knock us. All right, there we go. There we go. So I'm hoping it doesn't knock us, bro. Because I mean, we've been going hard for like 2 hours. Well, I'm not saying going hard, but we've been going strong for like 2 hours. Like we got like a lot of good information up on here. So hopefully it doesn't stop us or it doesn't buffer anything. If it does stop, I might have to just go into YouTube Studios and edit it. I don't even know. Like right now, it's buffering up on us. Like so, what I'm possibly gonna try to do is let me see. Yeah, so what I'm possibly gonna try to do is either either I'm gonna just play it and then like if it cuts us, it cuts us and I'll take it out. Or I might just like, you know, just like be back and forth playing bits and pieces of it, you know. But I really want you guys to hear this, and I don't want to keep pausing it. I kind of want to play it a little straight through so we can get the meat and the potatoes and the knowledge out of it. But yeah, let's get it started. Let's get it popping up. Let's go.
many of these pre-Columbian explorers
I'm gonna
might have
turn the mic off.
come from Africa. So the first scientist to promote this possibility was Leo Wiener. Born in Russia, Wiener immigrated to the United States in the late 19th century on his way to British Honduras, where he planned to open a vegetarian commune. Well, when that turned out not to be the dream job he expected, he moved back to the United States and he became a professor at Harvard University, as one does. And but in his time in Mesoamerica, he started noticing things. There are lots of things that led him to encounter certain discoveries that made him consider that possibly if the origins of American civilization might actually be in Africa. So he observed so many linguistic and botanical and other similarities that between 1920 and 1922, he published an extensive 3-volume piece called Africa and the Discovery of America. Now, unfortunately, this is 1920s, so as yet, no serious archaeological evidence had been done to, or work had been done to support his botanical theories, because everyone knows over raiding tombs in Egypt and things like that. Nod to Howard Carter. So he didn't have a whole lot of other stuff than the names to support him. However, he knew that other clues must exist. For example, he pointed out that Columbus himself was aware that African mariners had preceded him. In his diary of his second voyage, Columbus tells of how the natives of Hispaniola actually had given him gold-tipped metal spearheads that they said were brought by black-skinned people who had come in large boats from the south and southeast. Coincidence? I think not. No. So what's interesting about that, so upon returning to Spain, is that he actually took the spearheads and he sent them away, and they had them assayed, and it turned out to be that these spearheads were covered in this metal that this alloy that the inhabitants called guanin, and the metallurgists actually found out that this was an alloy of 32 parts. It was like 18 of gold, 6 of silver, 8 of copper, which dun 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 matched the metal used in spearheads made in Western Africa for thousands of years, as carried by medieval African warriors, including the Mali and the Moors. The West Africans even called this metal guanine, the same name used by the natives of Hispaniola.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license? Whereas in Florida, no open carrying is allowed, except in unique situations like in hunting or fishing. Hi, I'm Koleon Noir, a Pro 2A attorney with over 2 million YouTube subscribers. I'm always a little shocked when I see or speak to gun owners that don't know the laws of their state. And the laws change or are amended often. Whether you're traveling, carrying daily, or even thinking about getting a gun, it's crucial that you know the law. To check out your state's gun.
But nothing more was said about that. Conspiracy. Well, probably because, in the interest of Spain, it was in their best interest that they didn't want to have any challenges to the discovery. And
Okay, I'm back. So as you see, they call the metal guanin. Obviously, it came from Africa. It's just so astronomical. They try to act like black folks wasn't here, man. That's all I'm proving tonight, man.
It claims the islands of the West Indies. Well, as the poem goes, or it should anyway, in 1493, Columbus stole all he could see. Yeah, so on his second voyage, which was 10 times larger than the first, Columbus went on a frantic but unsuccessful island hopping trip to find gold and spices. He carried along several natives from his newly discovered San Salvador, which the inhabitants called Guanahanvi. Another island that the natives pointed out, which was really large, and was called Soameto. Now, Columbus continued going around whimsically renaming every island he could find. But, Leo Wiener, being the curious person and the linguist that he was, and the etymologist, he couldn't help noticing that the origin of these many place names and botanical names in Mesoamerica actually sounded distinctly like other languages in Africa, particularly Bantu and even Arabic. Wiener and numerous other botanists have also puzzled over the presence of certain plants that predated Columbus but originated in Africa. For example, the calabash bottle gourds. Now, this is a species originally from West Africa, where they were well cultivated in America before Europeans arrived. Now, even long before they existed in Indonesia or Polynesia. So, in fact, the Pacific was the last place that bottle gourds actually reached and expanded to. Pardon my covfefe. Well, if it were not for transatlantic trade pre-Columbian times, it would be very difficult to explain how certain plants, such as the yam, the sweet potato, domesticated cotton, peanuts, and tobacco, reached both West Africa and the Americas.
Man, he got a bad cold, man. He got bad sinuses, man, for real.
The spread of the plantain is particularly noteworthy because it could not remain viable if it was carried in salt water. Well, in the 1640s, a Brazilian botanist named George Margrave.
He's sick, man. He got a bad cold, man.
Thank you. Speaking of botany, Ricola. Yeah, there we go. So thank you very much. So the Brazilian botanist George Margrave wrote that the establishment of a particular varieties of plantains in this region stands as a strong argument for ancient maritime contact between the Americas and Africa. That's bananas. B-A-B-A-N-A-S. That's right. Thank you. All right.
Dude, sick.
Excuse me. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, how do these plants and languages?
Yeah, most of the video, he coughing. I don't know how they picking that up. I mean, my joint buffering and stuff like that. I might start up another live, man. I'm buffering a little bit.
That's going to be good for the video.
Nah, man, he coughing too much, man. They keep stopping the live, but salute, man. Peace and blessings to the tribe, man. Hope you guys enjoyed, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Remember, man, they said it. Now we're speaking on it. I'm Mr. Telescope, and you are now watching the Telescope channel. I appreciate everybody that came through. Blessings to you all. Hope you guys learned something. If you want me to talk about more stuff like this, drop something in the comments. We actually still gonna go back live. We'll go live again. We're gonna be talking about a lot more stuff like this. Probably on this John Morant topic and some more current events. But peace and blessings to the tribe, man. Salute. Thank you guys for coming in, man. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel, man, so you can be notified every time I go live.